You like that little intro, bro? That's what happens when you give me the day off, man. Come back and get a little bored and start fucking around with shit. This dude's fucking dancing with with my hoodie. Dying. Oh man, you supervisors, you making it too easy for these titles of these videos, man. 7-day suspension for a hoodie, right? They make it too easy. See, they do these things. They get wrapped up in their methods and their in the process, but they don't think of like reality, right? And then they do some dumb stuff like hand out 7 days for a hoodie on progressive discipline. Oh man, come on, we got to do better than that. We got to do better than that. Hey, I know I was wrong, right? I had the hoodie on. Okay, I admit to that. I mean, it was raining. I usually don't wear a hoodie this time of year. I had it in my truck. It was warm out. Like right now, it's like going to be 80 degrees all week. I'm not going to be wearing a hoodie. But I guess it was 2 Fridays ago. It started raining and it was cold. And yeah, I needed that. I wasn't going to sit there in the rain getting pelted with cold rain, you know. Of course, they come out, which I enjoy. I invite them to. I invite them to come out anytime. Not too much, you know. I want to borderline on Article 37 harassment, but I do the right thing out there. I'm pretty confident in it. But then they start picking you apart, you know. They don't take any extenuating circumstances into consideration. Like it was raining and I was only going to have it on for an hour. 7-day suspension. Dude, like, come on, man. I mean, you can't even argue that, you know. Well, you can. You can. And one thing I wanted to bring up was the 7 tests of just cause, which is what any arbitrator uses, I think, unofficially when you go to arbitration, which is obviously the last step in discipline. You know, you always try to settle any discipline at the center level. And if you can't, you go to the labor meeting, which most of you guys know of, which is with Matt Connor, or a business agent, and a labor manager for UPS. And then if it doesn't get settled there, it goes to panel, which is 3 representatives for UPS, 3 representatives from the union. They try to meet and settle it. If it doesn't get settled then it goes to arbitration. And arbitration is a third party outside person that'll be the final say in whatever the discipline is. And usually when it gets to that point, it's pretty serious, you know. They send stuff up to labor that's kind of dumb. Even like the 9-5 grievances and Soup's working grievances, they all get sent to labor. So when I write them, they're kind of out of my hands pretty much immediately. I would like to settle them, but they know I don't have many excuses for stuff like that. So they send them up to Matt at labor, and they decide them up there. That's why I have a stack of grievances right now. The offensive side of things, supervisors working, 9-5 grievances, stuff like that seem to be not going very far. So if you see Matt, give him a polite nudge and ask him what's going on with them, because I'm doing everything I can, and they don't seem to be progressing. But we'll get back to that more in a second. So there's the 7 tests of just cause that they use, the arbitrator will use, and Greg Kerwood and David Allen with the Roswell Hub. I've linked their video earlier, did a great video on that, and I love watching that video over and over to try to remind myself of what to look for when they're coming at me with discipline. The 7 tests are fair notice, prior enforcement, due process, substantial evidence, equal treatment, progressive discipline, and mitigating circumstances. And then there's definitions for each of those. And you know, just watch the video because they explain it a lot better than I probably would. With my case with the hoodie, I would argue progressive discipline and disparate treatment, which is kind of along the lines of discrimination, but it doesn't really focus on race or gender or religion. You know, it's more just treating people unequal because they can't enforce the same rules on one driver because they don't like them and not another because they do. So that's what I'm going to go with that. They don't really have much. It's kind of like they're way out in left field with that one, but it's all right. I guess the top boss was off that week, so he wanted to make a name for himself, whip his dick out a little bit. So yeah, that's fine. The bowling thing was great, and I really appreciate everybody that came out, and it was a lot of fun. We had a good showing, even though it was the day before Mother's Day, and it's kind of getting into summer a little bit. But we're going to do that again because we had a lot of guys come out. We had a lot of fun. I had a lot of fun. Even though it was bowling, which I don't really take part in. Yeah, we should do something either like that exact thing again, maybe even just with a few guys, maybe get a little bowling thing going. And then we should definitely do something else and build some camaraderie within our center, because it was a lot of our center that showed up. And this is, I know there's a lot of people in this group from the building and hopefully even outside of the building. And hopefully we can grow that camaraderie and kind of get everybody on the same page. We want us unified and all thinking as one, because we are a union, and that's what gets us all the great things that come with the union. And they don't want that. They want to divide and conquer, and we're not going to let them do that. But yeah, on to my last subject, which is these supervisor working grievances, which on my last video that I made that I didn't put out, I came in a little hot. And I came in a little hot on our local and the company and the members in general. I'm a little bit fed up with hearing the preaching, going to these meetings and hearing a bunch of tough talk, and then you go into the building and it's like, ghost town. Supervisors are working everywhere. This is just my opinion. I'm trying to be really nice about it. But even before I made this video, I'm on social media, which, by the way, social media is great. I know a lot of times we get browbeat when you hear stuff on YouTube and you relay it, and you do gotta be able to sort through the shit that's on YouTube. But for the most part, there's a lot of very informative information that maybe 15 years ago we would have never gotten from around the country. Different locals, people speaking out, making videos, and you get to pick up a lot of information that wouldn't have been there a long time ago. Yeah, there's a lot of guys with a lot of very informative information out there, and it's great to have stuff like YouTube when you find the right channels, because you can really pick their brain and get a lot of good stuff out of it. So back to what I was saying again is with the supervisors working, it's like, I'm on Facebook and I'm browsing, having my little coffee earlier, and the Teamsters, they're posting this stuff online for all our members to see, and it's put money back in your pocket, file supervisors working grievances, So this is coming from the top, this kind of thing. And when you go to our meetings, it comes from there too. When you're there, it's a lot of tough talk. But then you come, you step into the building on a daily basis, and they're just everywhere. And that's one of the things that I wanted to fight when I became a shop steward, was those offensive sides of the contract, fighting, being the moving party on stuff like that. And I have a stack of grievances right now that are going absolutely nowhere. And there's only so much I can do when the front line, isn't on the same page. And I just don't think that that he is, our business agent. And I want to get there, or maybe find a middle ground. I don't know why. I don't know what it is about stuff like that. If he thinks it's a money grab or something, I don't get it. Most of the grievances I write are for the affected employee, or if I just see a supervisor working, I put it under local 384. And I'm not really worried about where the money goes, as long as if there's an affected employee, it should go to them. Like the guy in our center, we had lay off, and they had a guy way under him work a few weeks ago. That grievance is still hanging. And, that's supposed to be getting settled. But if there's no affected employee, it should just go into a pot. But these supervisors at our building should know that they're not allowed to do our work, because we still got a lot of guys on layoff. And that really bothers me to see them just blatantly, constantly doing our work. There's no excuses. And when I write them up and I hear excuses when I try to settle them, right now I'm having a problem with the preload soups getting to me and having meetings. I know they're just going to deny them because they know that there's a next step where they could possibly get out of them. And I'm not too confident in that next step right now with us. I'm confident in the grievances I write. I know they're strong. I get witnesses. I don't just wait till they touch a little package. I get them on like good ones, to kind of send a message that, this is Teamster jobs you're taking. Just like case in point the other day, even with our business agent standing right there in the center, and there's an E-reg driver who is a supervisor I have twice now with pending grievances on supervisors working. He comes riding by in an E-reg train. Obvious Teamster job. And he's been doing it all morning. And I have another one out from a week or two before that when there was another supervisor doing the same thing. And I go to my business agent, like what what is this? Like, this is an obvious infraction on the contract. And can we write a grievance and address this? And I just feel like they're not going to go anywhere. Now we'll see. I have them out there, and I have the hours out. Any of the ones that I have me as the grievant, if money does come through, okay, it's going to go into a pot, and it's going to go into stuff like our bowling. I'll have everything itemized. It's not a money grab, and it shouldn't be that. You shouldn't feel the same way as the employee, as the member up on the belt or out on the road that sees supervisors working and wants to write these grievances. Don't worry. It's not like a money grab like I think they're trying to make it out to be. It's more about making the company be held responsible for them doing the work of our members that are currently laid off. Now, we've gotten a few guys back recently, which is good. But, as far as these, and with the 9.5s too, we walk into the office in a 9.5. There's only two questions I want to hear. Was he at over 9.5 or he or she, or wasn't she? Was it after 7 if we start at 9 with the half-hour break, or wasn't it? That's like really the only, I don't really want to hear anything else. And that's why I think they get kicked up to labor automatically, because they're not going to pay him, if they don't have to. And I feel like there's that extra step where they can get out of them. And, I don't know everything that goes on up there. I don't know if it's wrapped in bureaucracy and there's something else that I don't know that's going on. Not good or bad. I would like to sit in those labor meetings because I know how to talk to them. I know how to get mine paid when I go up there, and it's pretty cut and dry with me. I don't go with a lot of excuses, And if there are excuses for stuff like that, it should be addressed immediately, not later on at a labor meeting. But either way, this is kind of an uphill battle. I got a stack of grievances sitting, a stack. I put a picture up the other day of all the ones that are just kind of waiting. And as they're waiting, soups are working every day. This last Friday I had off. I was supposed to go to Chesapeake instead of being at home, which is what ended up happening because I ended up getting sick. I had a personal day Friday, and I called out Thursday because by Wednesday night, man, I was dragging ass. Our kids are in daycare, and I haven't not been sick at least monthly for the past year. So this one was a little bit of a rough one too. A little bit of a rough one. I'm still coming out of it. But yeah, Friday I had a personal day, and I got a text message from one of the members in the morning that every soup in the building's working. And I knew they were, and they are even when I'm there. But that shit just angers me, man. And I'm trying to address it because that's a big one. That's a high-paying penalty. That should be pretty easy to get. And the end result is it keeps our members there. It keeps Teamster jobs there. Like our members in our local has dropped the past 2 years. We used to be at well over 6,000 members, and we're at mid-4s, I think, right now, which is what the annual report put out that I posted on our page. The M2, right? Report, and then there's basically everything on that. And I don't know the reason for that, but I know one way we can keep that number from going down is to keep Teamster jobs, and I feel like supervisor working grievances are the best way to do that. And 9.5 grievances, because they keep guys from being over dispatched and working off the clock. All that stuff adds up. It might be like little to each one of us, it might just be like, and it's real easy to just to turn a blind eye to it and just do what you want to do. But that's a little bit unfair because your Teamster getting paid the best pay in the industry with the benefits have already been down us a million times, the pension and all that stuff. So you should hold yourself to a standard, and the local should hold the members under it to that standard. And we should be addressing stuff like the supervisors working 9.5s. That all adds up, and working off the clock all adds up to more Teamster jobs, more members, and a healthy union. And people like that. They like that certainty. People want formality. They want to come in and feel like they're a part of something, because that, at the end of the day, on a larger level, at the national level, is what gets us all these great benefits. So if we don't hold that standard at a local level, we're not doing our job. And I'm doing my job, and I want everybody else to do their job. And I don't want to sit here on my soapbox, because there's a lot of stuff I don't know, and I would like to learn that. But for right now, I'm just talking about what I see, and I know what I know from my level, from my eyes, and I know that it ain't running the way it's supposed to be, and it's really, really frustrating. So hopefully these grievances get settled. Hopefully we start taking these lazy excuses and throwing them out the door, because there's really no excuse to why these aren't being addressed. So that's my little rant. I went on quite a bit. Um, Thanks for sticking around. It was a hot one. I'm sitting in here sweating in my garage. I'm sure you guys are sweating in the back of your truck if you're still out. It's about 7:30, I guess, on a Monday, and hope everybody made Mondays are rough. I know they are, and this week will be a little rough with the heat. Just pace yourself, do your thing. Thank you guys for listening, and I'm gonna see you on the next one. All right. Hope you like the little intro too. I made that special for you. All right, man. See you.